Tonight, law enforcement investigates the death of 3 people on the Fort Peck Reservation. We'll share what we know. Plus, patiently awaiting foster care, an update on dogs and cats confiscated in a recent Cascade County animal cruelty case. And later,
I am Justin Robichaux at the Courthouse Annex, where the Cascade County Commission put up for a vote an intent to establish residential and commercial solid waste rates. We'll tell you later how they voted.
From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Good evening and thanks for trusting KRTV for your 530 News. I'm Tim McGonigal. First tonight, Michael J. Littlebull is now in custody after 3 adults were found dead in Poplar. On Sunday, Fort Peck tribal law enforcement said the case was being investigated by a number of agencies but could not release any other details. According to the Fort Peck Journal, Littlebull is in custody in the Yellowstone County Detention Center and is being held on a federal hold without bond. At this time, the victims' names have not yet been released. We will update you as we get more information. A deputy court clerk in Lewis and Clark County is facing charges in connection with what investigators say was leaked information in a drug investigation. Danae Cooper is charged with obstruction of justice, a felony. Court documents say the case is linked to a drug investigation that dates back to November of 2023. According to documents, a confidential source told investigators this January that the primary suspect in that investigation got information about the case that came from someone at the county courthouse. Investigators said they talked to a second source last week who said the information came from Cooper and reached the suspect through a third party. According to investigators, Cooper told them there was a pretty good chance she shared information about search warrants with a family member and that she admitted to a huge oversight. Cooper has been released without bond ahead of a preliminary hearing next week.
It does feel pretty nice outside right now. Temperatures are in the 60s and the 70s. The cooler temperatures are where we have had more cloud cover and some showers throughout the afternoon and the evening. Warmer temperatures where it has been sunnier and drier today. And compared to yesterday at this time, it is about 5 to 15 degrees cooler for everyone in north central Montana. And actually in Great Falls, it's 19 degrees cooler right now than it was 24 hours ago. There have been scattered rain showers and a few thunderstorms around throughout the day today throughout much of the state. In north central Montana, it was mainly dry this morning, but there have been some scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. There will continue to be some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms around for the rest of this evening, tonight, and tomorrow, but then sunnier, warmer, and drier weather is in the forecast for the latter half of this week. And I'll have a look at your 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
In late August, deputies seized 37 dogs and 8 cats in an animal cruelty case. Those animals were then housed at the McLean Cameron Animal Adoption Center in Great Falls. But how are they doing now? MTN's Eric Johnson takes us inside the shelter that's giving them a second chance at life.
2.5 weeks ago, the McLean Cameron Animal Adoption Center was overwhelmed with dozens of animals rescued after Cascade County deputies uncovered a large-scale cruelty case in Sun Prairie. Authorities found the animals living in conditions described by a veterinarian as uninhabitable and inhumane, but the team at McLean is offering them health and hope. That evening, August 28th, the shelter received a call. 37 dogs and 8 cats were on their way. The staff immediately sprang into action, preparing kennels, food, water bowls, and collars. They worked quickly to figure out how to house all of these animals and make sure they were vaccinated, groomed, and their nails trimmed.
You can tell that a lot of them most likely hadn't been leash trained. A lot of them didn't know how to sit or things like that.
Katie O'Bear, the executive assistant at McLean, says that despite their unfortunate situation, these animals are some of the sweetest they've had at the shelter, and they all got along really well.
A lot of these animals are not used to going on walks, but they're all really well behaved. They usually like to stick right by your side, but definitely some just basic training and commands. And then also potty training is definitely a big thing with these dogs.
The outpouring of support from the Great Falls community was massive, from donations to provide food to groomers dedicating their time to bathe and trim the animals. Moving forward, the shelter asks for continued support through volunteer efforts, whether it's walking dogs, washing dishes, or even doing laundry. And one of the biggest ways to make a difference is through fostering.
Right now, we found foster homes for about 10 of our dogs. We're still looking for fosters for about, I would say, 13.
There are also 8 cats waiting for foster families. Due to the specific situation, there are some tighter requirements for fostering.
Fosters must have a securely fenced backyard. They must own their residence. There can be no child under the age of 10. They can only have 1 dog already in the home and or 2 cats. and all of their current pets need to already be altered and vaccinated with all their core vaccines.
For more information on how to become a foster parent or support McLean Cameron Animal Adoption Center, visit our website at KRTV.com. In Great Falls, Eric Johnson, MTN News.
Last week, the Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter in Billings made headlines when 14 employees at the facility were hospitalized after being exposed to smoke containing methamphetamine during a routine FBI drug incineration at a nearby city-operated crematorium. MTN's Charlie Kleps is continuing to follow this story, and he brings us the latest.
Even though this smoke has cleared,
people are frustrated, people are angry.
Yellowstone Valley Animal Shelter staff and animals continue to feel the effects.
There's some lingering coughs, lingering sniffles, that kind of stuff.
That smoke, caused by an incinerator operation going wrong, the FBI was burning meth when the ventilation system malfunctioned, sending 14 employees to the hospital.
And so I think they're doing as well as they can be at this time.
YVAS Board of Directors President Justin Hutchinson says he and others still have a lot of questions.
Test results could come in either today or tomorrow.
Highest on Hutchinson's list is a test from Newman Restoration Company, which will detail what it'll take to clean the building.
Even at the best case scenario, we're not getting back in the building for 2 weeks or up to a month.
And with the shelter now out of commission, many also are wondering where stray animals will be taken.
In the past, a couple of the emergency clinics in town would take stray animals.
Tiffany Smith with Trailhead Veterinary Services says that it's common practice for people to drop strays off at vets in Billings where they can be held until animal control can get them to the shelter.
Now that there is no operational shelter, what's happening to those animals?
Smith says she fears that vets will also become inundated with animals.
No clinic in town has the capacity to hold 75 to 100 animals at once on top of seeing patients.
MTN is also learning more about the air quality permit the Billings Animal Board was granted in 2010, which says, quote, the Billings Animal Control shall not incinerate or cremate any material other than animal remains and or any corresponding container unless otherwise approved by the department. Hutchinson says he and others were unaware the city was also using it to burn dangerous narcotics.
I see it as they were instructed to use it in a certain way, and they've used it in the ways that make news now.
He and others are now looking forward to a day when YBAS will be able to build a new facility in Wilson Park. The city zoning commission has already approved the shelter, but more money still needs to be raised.
Having a new shelter would be instrumental in making sure that this doesn't happen again, because we would have a lot more control over everything.
In Billings, Charlie Kleps, MTN News.
As we've reported, there is another incinerator in Billings that's specifically used to burn confiscated drugs. What we don't know is why it isn't used by the FBI and Billings police. That incinerator belongs to the Montana Highway Patrol, and according to a 2017 air quality permit, it's located at 6727 Laurel Airport Road. MTN has reached out repeatedly to the Montana Department of Justice, hoping to learn whether that incinerator is also used by other law enforcement agencies, and if not, why. DOJ spokesperson Chase Schuer tells MTN the agency is still working to track down those answers. The video you're seeing is from 2018 in Butte, when the state announced it was installing 3 incinerators in Butte, Billings, and Great Falls to burn confiscated drugs and prescription pills. The money for those incinerators came from a lawsuit settlement between the state and a pharmaceutical company. After years of planning and renovation, today the historic Bats building at 400 2nd Avenue South in downtown Great Falls has officially opened its doors. NeighborWorks held a ribbon cutting to mark the official opening of the housing project. For years, it sat vacant after serving as a hotel, bar, and storefront after construction in 1913. Renovations began in 2023 to restore it to supportive housing aimed at helping people experiencing chronic and recent homelessness. The project, led by NeighborWorks alongside sister organization Homeward, features 25 ADA-compliant housing units with on-site amenities and offices for rotating service providers.
And so that's, I think, really the critical piece. This is a permanent supportive housing, like Bats Block Apartments, is a piece of the pie when it comes to trying to solve homelessness.
Low-income housing credits and funding from the city, county, and federal level are what pushed the project to completion. The Bats building is the first of its kind in Great Falls and only the second in Montana using tax credits. The opening of the building could mark a major step towards addressing homelessness in Great Falls. Between February and March of 2025, more than 450 individuals were listed as actively homeless, with an average wait time of 6 months for services. Cascade County Commissioners are considering raising solid waste fees, a move that would impact residential and commercial rates. MTN's Justin Robichaud breaks down the proposal and how it could affect your wallet.
The Cascade County Commission voted unanimously to pass a resolution of intent to establish residential and commercial solid waste rates.
The rates have been adjusted. Commercial rate is now a little higher per ticket than the homeowner's rate. And when you shake all that out, that should give us enough money to meet the rising operating costs.
Cascade County Chairman Jim Larson explains the reasoning for the adjustment of rates.
We don't like to raise assessments or taxes to our people. In order, the reason for those rates is that we were going in the red running our solid waste.
Legally, this is what's called an enterprise fund, which means it has to break even. You can't use general tax revenues to support it. So if it costs $1 million to run it, you have to generate $1 million from the users of the system to pay for it.
According to Larson, the county is required by law to provide solid waste disposal, and it's the county commission's job to address those needs.
By statute that we have this service. If we have to have this service, we are given the opportunity to raise rates to be able to give this service to the county. So this is the way we have to do our business.
This resolution will be put up for a final action at the next County Commission meeting September 25th. In Great Falls, Justin Robichaud, MTN News.
You think you might like to try hunting? Or you have a youngster who wasn't able to complete hunter education this year and still wants to hunt? There is an option for you. I'm Chet Lehman. Coming up, we talk with FWP about the Apprentice Hunter program, what it is, and who's eligible.
Hunting is very popular in Montana, but some people, especially the very young, don't always have a chance to experience it. MTN's Chet Lehman tells us about a program that allows novice hunters to take to the field with experienced hunters to learn about the realities of the sport.
Hunting season is here, and right now many Montana young people are working their way through hunter education courses prior to the beginning of the general hunting season coming up in October. If you or your youngster were unable to complete a hunter education course this year, there's still a way for you to hunt. It's called the Apprentice Hunter program.
Great program that, again, both gives new hunters experience, but also gives families an option if they were not able to take hunter education this year.
To be an apprentice hunter, you need a mentor who hunts. And this is open to youngsters and to anyone who would like to try hunting.
Apprentice hunters must be at least 10 years of age. But there's no maximum age, and so adults can be apprentice hunters, and then the mentor that they hunt with has to be at least 21 years of age. If they were born after 1985, they have to have completed hunter education, and the mentor must also possess a valid hunting license.
Apprentice hunters can hunt just like regular licensed hunters, with a few exceptions.
Can purchase a deer hunting license. And they can participate in the youth deer hunt if they're between the ages of 10 and 15. They can purchase an elk hunting license if they're at least 15 years of age, but apprentice hunters can't purchase licenses that are through a limited drawing. So they can't apply for special licenses or permits until they've completed hunter education.
Now, parents can assign anyone to be a mentor as long as they meet the minimum requirements. Apprentice hunters are only allowed in the field to hunt for 2 years before being required to complete the hunter education course to hunt in the future. Go to the FWP website or into any FWP office for more information about the Apprentice Hunter program. In the Bridgers, Chet Lehman, MTN News.